What a great rig, but you can have an even better year with it. Let's jump into my 4 favorite ways to make the Wacky rig even more effective. Number 1, use color opposites, or I should say have colors ready at each end of the contrast spectrum. For example, I love to have 2 Wacky rig rods ready if you can. One with a light color and one with a dark color. Let's say white and black, or even white on one rod and a dark color like green pumpkin on the other. For example, on super bright days, I love black. And you're probably thinking, what? Really? But bright sun provides a strong profile, and black has a really strong profile, especially if bass are coming up to attack that lure and it's backlit by the sun. Now, a lot of anglers throw dark colors in dark water. Now, personally, I do just the opposite. White reflects what light there is and can be seen farther away than dark colors. Now, these are just my reasons, but try to have 2 different colors ready and mix it up. I think that you will be pleasantly surprised how well you can dial in what they want, what those bass want on any given day. Number 2, target deeper water. Most Wacky rig fishing is done in that 0 to 5 foot range. Well, don't forget about that next critical depth zone that is deeper than 5 feet. Many top pros believe that 8 to 10 foot range is the best in bass fishing. But a traditional Wacky can be slow to fish in that part of the water column. A weighted Wacky can solve that problem, and oftentimes adding a little weight will give that stick bait more action. A win-win. Number 3, use high-vis braid to a leader if you don't already. Wacky rig bites can be so subtle at times. The bass will slurp it up and may not move all that far. The number of bass you can catch by utilizing high-vis braid as your main line is amazing. All of a sudden, those small twitches and bumps of the line are easier to detect. Now, hopefully you feel them, but if not, now the goal is to see them as well. I like to use a leader that is about the length of the rod when fishing a Wacky rig. Now, number 4, when that Wacky rig hits bottom, leave it sit motionless a bit longer than you probably currently do. A Wacky rig is one of those lures that gets a lot of follows. You need to assume on every cast that there is a bass, or maybe more than one bass, swimming down to take a closer look. The bass don't always hit it on the drop. Take a look at this footage of a weightless Texas rig. As it drops through this brush, look at how many bass are intrigued and follow it. A few extra seconds once the lure is on bottom can make a big difference. Add your favorite Wacky rig tips down below. And hey, if you would like to watch a video on what I think are the 5 most underrated lures out there and why we need to still be throwing them, go ahead and check this one out right here. And make sure that you go ahead and encourage someone today. You never know how you might just change their life. For the Bass Fishing Life, I'm your host, Steve Rogers.